A newly unsealed indictment from the U.S. Justice Department alleges that Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro led what prosecutors describe as a corrupt and illegitimate government, allegedly supported by large-scale drug trafficking operations.
But I want to be clear about one thing. Nicolás Maduro had multiple opportunities to avoid this. He was provided multiple very, very, very generous offers and chose instead to act like a wild man, chose instead to play around.
In a public statement, U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi said that Maduro and his wife, Cilia Flores, will soon face the full wrath of American justice, emphasizing the seriousness of the charges now filed in U.S. federal court. According to the indictment, Maduro is charged alongside his wife, his son, and 3 other individuals. U.S. officials allege that the group was involved in drug trafficking conspiracies and weapons-related offenses. As the case became public, attention quickly turned to Flores, a figure long rumored to wield extraordinary influence behind the scenes of Venezuela's power structure. So who is Cilia Flores, and why do so many believe the real power may run through her? Nicolás Maduro is the most powerful man in Venezuela, and many would argue his wife, Cilia Flores, is the most powerful woman.
Because for us, we are united in our souls for God, in God, and for God.
En Dios y por Dios.
But here's the thing. Her influence didn't start with marriage. Flores was already a political force long before she became Mrs. Maduro. Born in 1956 in Tinaquillo in the Cojete state, Flores grew up in a poor neighborhood of western Caracas, the youngest of 6 children. Her background is often framed as humble, and her rise as self-made, a narrative her supporters lean on heavily. She trained as a lawyer and first gained prominence in the 1990s as a legal defender of Hugo Chavez, back when he was still a revolutionary figure rather than a head of state. After Chavez's failed coup attempt in 1992 landed him in prison, Flores offered her legal services while he was incarcerated. It was also during this period that she met Nicolás Maduro, then part of Chavez's security detail. From that point on, their political paths, and eventually their personal lives, became closely linked. When Chavez was released from prison in 1994, Flores was among his most loyal allies. Once he became president in 1999, she remained firmly by his side, defending his policies and consolidating her own position. In 2006, she became the first woman to lead Venezuela's National Assembly, taking over the role from Maduro himself. In 2012, Cilia was appointed Attorney General, just months before Chavez died and a year before Maduro assumed the presidency. Flores married Maduro in June 2013, more than 20 years after they first met.
Nos casamos, nos casó.
We got married. Official celebrant of the revolution, Jorge Rodriguez, married us, officially.
Oficial de la revolución.
Before that, she had 3 children with Walter Gavidia, a former member of Chavez's security forces. Maduro has 1 son, Nicolás Maduro Guerra, from his first marriage to Adriana Guerra Angulo, and his later appointment to several high-level government roles is a detail critics often point to when raising allegations of favoritism. Flores also has an adopted son, Efraín Antonio Campo Flores, who is her nephew. And this is where the controversy intensifies. Over the years, Flores has faced repeated allegations ranging from nepotism to corruption and abuse of power. She is a key figure in Venezuelan corruption, absolutely key, and especially in the power structure, said Zaire Mundaray, who served as a senior prosecutor under Chavez and Maduro. Many consider her far more astute and cunning than Maduro himself. Behind the scenes, Ms. Flores is widely believed to exercise decisive control over Venezuela's judiciary. Judges and senior officials are reportedly loyal to her personally or owe their positions to her influence. For more than 2 decades, the courts have been effectively politicized, failing to issue a single ruling against the state. Investigative reporters have repeatedly linked the Maduro-Flores inner circle to large-scale corruption schemes, from the misuse of public funds to opaque business relationships with sanctioned foreign figures. One investigation went further, revealing that the family has quietly consolidated an entire street of luxury homes in Caracas, an extraordinary display of power in a country mired in economic collapse. At one point, nearly 40 of her relatives reportedly held government positions. Flores dismissed these claims as a smear campaign, calling journalists mercenaries of the pen. Even members of the ruling party criticized the situation, and some relatives were eventually removed, though several later resurfaced elsewhere in government. As Maduro's presidency unfolded, Venezuela slid deeper into authoritarian rule. His administration has been accused by international organizations of widespread human rights violations, unlawful detentions, and policies that worsened food shortages and mass displacement. While Maduro became the global face of the crisis, many Venezuelans increasingly saw Flores as an equal partner in power. Publicly, the couple leaned into a softer image, holding hands, exchanging affectionate looks, and using pet names in front of cameras. In 2015, Flores even launched a reality-style TV show, Concilia en Familia, presenting herself as warm, maternal, and approachable. Critics noted the contrast between that image and the political reality unfolding in the country, and audiences didn't exactly rush to embrace the show. By 2019, amid mass protests and international recognition of opposition leader Juan Guaidó, anger wasn't aimed at Maduro alone. Insiders and critics alike began openly saying Flores shared responsibility. She has since been sanctioned by multiple countries, including the United States, and barred from entering Colombia. When sanctions were announced, Maduro publicly defended her, saying, "You don't mess with Cilia. You don't mess with family. Don't be cowards. Her only crime is being my wife." That line only reinforced the sense that in this presidency, family and power are deeply intertwined. And while Venezuela's ruling elite faces international scrutiny, another name keeps emerging on the opposite side of this story: Maria Corina Machado, the woman leading the most serious challenge to the regime in decades. Maria Corina Machado's name is now known around the world, not just as a Venezuelan opposition leader, but as the woman whose fight for democracy earned her the 2025 Nobel Peace Prize. But behind the headlines and political battles is a personal story shaped by sacrifice, family distance, and a lifetime of pressure no parent or partner should ever have to endure.
Freedom is an individual decision, a rational decision. And it's the sum of these individual conscious decisions that bring that collective ethos that creates the force, the strength, and the courage.
Maria Corina was born on October 7, 1967, in Caracas, Venezuela. She's the eldest of 4 daughters, raised in a family that valued both discipline and empathy. Her father, Enrique Machado Zuloaga, was a prominent steel industry businessman. Her mother, Corina Perisca Perez, was a psychologist, a balance of industry and human understanding that shaped Maria Corina from childhood. Brilliant and determined from the start, she studied industrial engineering at the Andrés Bello Catholic University and later earned a master's degree in finance from IESA, one of Venezuela's leading graduate institutions. Long before she became a political symbol, she was a highly educated professional stepping into a turbulent world. In 1990, she married Ricardo Sosa Branger, a businessman and heir to one of Venezuela's well-known families. The couple had 3 children together: Ana Corina, Ricardo, and Henrique. But as the political landscape in Venezuela began to deteriorate, the pressure on her family grew. Her rise as an outspoken activist, and eventually one of the fiercest opponents of the government, brought real danger to those closest to her. The escalating threats, tension, and instability took a toll, and by 2001, the marriage ended. Years later, as the persecution against her intensified, her children eventually moved abroad for their safety, a painful reality shared by many families of dissidents. Machado herself has faced years of political harassment, targeted investigations, constant threats, and even periods where she was forced into hiding.
Well, for over 16 months, I haven't been able to hug or touch anyone.
Her fight for democracy has come at a deeply personal cost. That personal sacrifice was on full display during the Nobel Peace Prize ceremony. Because of ongoing security concerns and her long period in hiding, Maria Corina couldn't travel to Oslo in time to accept the award. So her daughter, Ana Corina Sosa Machado, stepped onto the stage in her place.
I am here on behalf of my mother, Maria Corina Machado, who has united millions of Venezuelans in an extraordinary effort that you, our hosts, have honored with the Nobel Peace Prize.
In front of the world, Ana delivered her mother's message, one that echoed decades of struggle. Democracy is essential for peace. She reminded the world that this prize wasn't just her mother's achievement. It was a recognition of all Venezuelans, from political prisoners to families forced to flee, who continue resisting repression. The speech also highlighted a heartbreaking truth. Maria Corina has spent years separated from loved ones, living with uncertainty while fighting for her country's future. Yet through all of it, the divorce, the threats, the exile of her children, and her own life in hiding, she never stopped, not for one day.
I am very hopeful Venezuela will be free, and we will turn a country into a beacon of hope and opportunity of democracy.
Her Nobel Prize is more than an award. It is a testament to her resilience, a symbol of a nation's courage, and a reminder that peace cannot exist without democracy. A truth that has defined Maria Corina Machado's entire life.